And we are back. Pokemon Emerald, Hardcore Nuzlocke, only using normal type Pokemon. We had our 10th and 11th attempts completely wipe to Roxanne. So we really thought we had it last time with our 9th attempt, but we fell to Flannery. We dropped 2 more attempts, but here we are in this moment, completely taking control of this fight against Roxanne for our 12th and hopefully final attempt. Let's see if we can see this through all the way to the end. All right, so everything's gone about the same. We've got the same encounters. We only dropped Skitty to that first gym battle, so we are looking really good. And then Brawly is a breeze with that guts boosted Talo here. We got that super effective stab wing attack to boot. The poison doing a little bit of damage, but it's not much of an issue as Wendy's is doing phenomenally. And a very, very fun nickname set here. We're going to have fast food restaurants, so I feel like that's really going to lend itself to the commentary with Wendy's coming down with that big Baconator combo, and there goes the Makahita. So 2 badges down. Let's go see what happens against May and Watson. Yep, just like last time in our 9th attempt, May really doesn't put up much of a fight given this squad. Wendy's is upgraded to the Swellow at this point and just comes in, doesn't even need the guts boosted poison or burn or what have you, just comes in and takes on all 3 of her Pokemon without any issues, didn't even break a sweat. Because really, I was asking, what about May and Watson? But we forgot about our boy Wally here, who has a ridiculous route, almost takes down McDonald's with one move. We don't even know what it was, but it was going to hit hard. That's what we do know. All right, this time against Watson, we made sure to get our Vigoroth out there against the tiny little Electrite, so it made it much easier to ramp up on than the Voltorb from last time. So no problems here. Bojangle's doing work, just breezing through Watson's Pokemon. Now, it does get a little bit questionable here against the final Manectric here, the ace, but we're just going to get a yawn out there to try to play around the paralysis, and Manectric's getting really greedy for those howls, so that's no problem there as we are fully paralyzed. But overall, I feel like this run is going really well, and the benefit of losing a run is you get to take everything you learned from that loss and then implement it into the next attempt. So there is always something we can gain from that, and I do believe that's really going to lend itself to our fight against Flannery this time. On top of that, we got crit 3 or 4 times in that Flannery fight as we were trying to set up. So just that alone, I feel like we're going to have better rolls and better luck. So take all of that and let's just keep moving forward. All right, we went ahead and secured both the Swablu and the Spinda first encounters on our way to Mount Chimney, and now we are taking on Maxie right at the top here. Really, the only thing left between us and Flannery is going to be this Maxie fight, so we are just going to get out there with Bojangles or Vigoroth, get the yawn down. Mighty is going to come in with a stab bite, does a little bit of damage, but not too much as we go in with that stab headbutt doing massive damage to the Wolf Dog, and Mighty Ina is gone. That only leaves 2 Pokemon. The Zubat comes down, and that is not going to be an issue as McDonald's completely one-shots the blind bat. Absolutely, and the big camera up comes down, does tank a headbutt to about half HP, goes for that focus energy, wanting to get the crits, but cannot crit if you are not alive to do so. Maxie is defeated, and that just brings us back to where we lost in our 9th attempt. Let's see if we can redeem ourselves in this fight against Flannery. All right, take 2 against Flannery, and another thing we implemented this time around is we made sure every Pokemon, all 6 of them, were right there on that XP curve. So no matter what happens, if they're out there in the battle, they're going to get that level up upon that Pokemon going down. So I think that's going to kind of push the envelope and push us over that ledge that we were stuck on last time. So we got some sand attacks down. We're going to get some growls down. We eat another overheat. McDonald's clinging to life here. There is the sunny day, so thankfully that wasn't double damage. And at this point, the Numel's already dropped on its special attack, so we're actually looking really good. It's probably going to go for another sunny day here as we keep dodging the magnitudes in the sand attacks, keep coming down. This Linoon making up for the entire last fight in a single moment. And now Vigoroth, the red carpet is down. The road has been paved. We get the yawn off, and now we pivot back into Zaxby's, our plan B from last time, who is now going to be our main source of damage because the Vigoroth got stuck with that very pitiful in strength Rock Smash move. That doesn't even make sense. Rock Smash just does so little damage in Gen 3, and because it's that HM, we got stuck with it. So given that information, we're going to lean into a stab strength, probably boosted by the Silk Scarf. I can't even remember off the top, but either way, as you can see here, we are looking with a +6 attack, Loudred, and Zaxby's is taking names and taking orders, and we are all out of names right here. The Torkoal does hold on to a full damage strength, but we hold on to a body slam and dodge the paralysis, which is absolutely beautiful. We drop back for another strength. Torkoal goes into the red. Flannery, not wanting to lose her ace, uses another hyper potion, but Zaxby's is here to stay, continues to rain down the strengths, and we outspeed and take down the tortoise. Beautiful stuff. We will take that 4th gym badge, and now let's just keep this thing going. Let's just keep it going. All right, we have redeemed ourselves. We have gotten further than we were in the 9th attempt, so let's resume back to our 12th attempt here. Let's keep this going live, and we're taking on our father Norman with his normal type. So this is a complete normal type fiesta, as we've got our Linoon against the Spinda. The confusions continue to come down, but we are going to use this little bear. It's going to be an end that justifies the means here, and this Linoon is so good at setting up since it's really fast, so it can outspeed its opponent and then get those accuracy and attack debuffs down, as many as you can, without having to risk a crit, as we do there. And then we pivot into the golden Swablu here, the golden goose, if you will, and we get a ridiculous sing-off. We see through that just terrible accuracy, but the Swablu clutches, and now we pivot into our own little Dizzy Bear. Hardy's getting in on the action, and the own tempo comes down, so Spinda cannot confuse us. Now, that does mean we can't confuse it, but that's fine, as we completely decrease the Spinda's accuracy. So now when we do pivot into our MVP Bojangles, potentially, we're going to be able to get that max bulk up. So that way, when they come at us with those physical attacks, they will not be hurting. They'll really have to be relying on those crits. On top of that, the biggest difference between Loudred and the Vigoroth is the Vigoroth can heal. Also, we have access to Yawn, so we can put our opponent to sleep. So Vigoroth just has so many more tools than the Loudred, but it's really nice to have that Loudred in the bat, just in case things go wrong with the Vigoroth. So that being said here, though, Bojangles is ramped up and ready to go. Rock Smash does do pitiful damage, but it is super effective in this instance, so it's going to be doing double. So if you're not going to be hitting hard, at least it's hitting twice as hard, if you know what I'm saying. So here we go. Slacking comes down, and the biggest thing we got to watch out for is Slacking has counter. So we are bulked up to the heavens, so his physical damage isn't going to be doing too much. But if we hit him for that much damage, he's going to hit us twice as hard back with the counter. So it's really pivotal that we play around both the counter and the loaf around turn, which we can absolutely do with Slack Off and Yawn. So we're doing absolute work here. Bojangle is more of a strategic play here because of the lack of damage with that Rock Smash, but it's no problem. We're just playing this smart, we're playing this safe, and then only 2 more gyms or so, and we'll be able to upgrade that Rock Smash maybe into Strength, maybe into Secret Power or Slash, something that hits a lot harder and is a lot more reliable in nature. But we get the fadeaway on the big fella, the ace falls, and now Bojangles is going to be out here against the final 2 Pokemon in Vigoroth and Linoon. Vigoroth comes down, does take the Rock Smash off the top, comes in with a feint attack that does dodge the bulk up, but it doesn't lean into Vigoroth's really nice physical damage attack stat, so that's good. And then the Linoon comes down, and this is it. This is the final bastion of hope for Norman. Linoon does hold on in about 15% HP, gets a nice headbutt off, but it's not going to do much as the Hyper Potion holds on to Linoon. Linoon is staying in the battle, but the defense does fall, and we outspeed the next turn. Linoon is deleted, and we have secured a very crisp and very clean 5th gym badge. For our Route 115 first encounter, it is going to be the Jigglypuff. Drop back with the Ultra Ball and secure it. And then for our next first encounter, it is going to be the cast form found at the Weather Institute. Go ahead and put that in the PC for now. That leads us to our next rival fight against May in the rain here. And we have got McDonald's, our Linoon, lined up here. We have that ridiculous speed stat that we can lean into, as well as those stab headbutts. Getting that added flinch chance is just beautiful. So if the Slugma was able to survive, there's a very good chance that it would have flinched anyway. So this Linoon is just a menace. We take the fake out from the Lombre. That is not a Ludicolo, so I am not scared at all. We just get a really nice headbutt into flinch down onto the Lombre himself. Another headbutt does the trick, and that only leaves the Grovyle. That shiny is really growing on me with the nice teal and red pops. The headbutt comes down. We're gonna have to tank a stab leaf blade in the rain, and that does do a good amount of damage, but Linoon doesn't really care as he puts down May's ace, and we are on to Fortree City. Let's do it. For our Route 120 first encounter, right there with Steven on the bridge, we uncover the invisible Kecleon, drop back with the Ultra Ball, and secure yet another normal type that we can add to the roster. And I wish I could say it is time for Winona, but we get stuck in this mandatory double battle against Swellow and Doduo. Zaxby's gets absolutely railed, left at 7 HP, hung out to dry, so we're going to pivot back into our own Swellow, Wendy's, to get her out of there. Bojangles is still at full HP with some nice access to Yawn, and the Endeavor comes down onto Wendy's, matching HP with their Swellow, which opens the door for an absolute snipe from the Doduo. A ridiculous combination. And from this point, we have Hardee's and Bojangles going back to back, and it's going to be a nice long drawn out fight, but that was going to be our only death in this fight. So we'll just leave it there and fast forward to Winona and see what happens. It is now time to take on Winona, the 6th gym leader here, focusing on flying type Pokemon. The little Swablu comes down, and we've got Chipotle, our upgraded Wigglytuff, coming down here, showing off a beautiful moveset. The mirror move comes down, responds with the Ice Beam, and we actually get frozen basically by our own Ice Beam. That is so embarrassing, so bad, and now we are sitting here stuck against a Parasong. So if Chipotle could thaw out here, that would be really nice, but we might just have to cut our losses as another Ice Beam comes down. It just feels like it's reapplying the ice, just making the Wigglytuff absolutely frozen as another Ice Beam comes down with a critical hit on top. Now we do break out of the frozen chamber with a nice flamethrower, but the Parasong is now on 1, meaning both of us are probably going to swap out here. Yep, there is the withdraw, the calculations. However, we pivot into our other normal type Pokemon with a very similar coverage moveset, and we're going to get a 4 times Ice Beam against the Tropius. Beautiful stuff. And now the Swablu comes down and is hurting from that previous flamethrower. We come in with a beautiful fadeaway crit with the Ice Beam, and Chick-fil-A is right here, right now, getting a large number 1 with a Dr. Pepper to wash it all down as the confusion comes across the board. But Kecleon will not be deterred as we go in for a 4 times Thunderbolt. This coverage moveset, brought to you by the Game Corner, is looking so good right now. You have options. Flamethrower and Thunderbolt are both going to be super effective. Neither are Stab, which is really the only downfall to that normal typing. You're not going to get that bonus damage, but with the coverage coming in, you're going to be doing so much work as the Skarmory goes in the red. Winona using another Hyper Potion here. That may be her last one as the Skarmory stands tall. The shiny looking very good as they're swapping out that red pop under the wings with a nice dark green. Really like that as we drop back with a Thunderbolt, and Skarmory is no more. Kecleon finally getting some screen time in these runs, as it really is just the stats aren't that great, but as you can see, the moveset is there. You can definitely have a good time with it as the Altaria comes down, and we get a beautiful pivot with the baby Swablu against the Golden Goose himself. The Altaria comes down, and we land a 55% Sing onto the ace. Unbelievable stuff, and that's going to pave the way for our 3rd and final normal type with a beautiful coverage moveset. This one's going to be a little bit weirder, though. We have the Overheat and Strength, a little bit of Stab to line up there as the Altaria falls into about 30 to 40% HP with that Oranberry to boot. She wakes up, or he wakes up, comes down with a big Earthquake, but we hold on about 60% HP. Drop back with a 4 times Ice Beam, and Altaria is gone. Winona is defeated, and we have now gotten 6 gym badges for this run. Things are finally looking up. We did lose Swellow, but it's okay. We'll take that in stride and keep moving forward. As always, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it, and I will catch you on the flip. Peace.